Ghillie suits are one of those things that in Airsoft, they sound like a really good idea. However, once you start to bring that idea to fruition, you start to see some of the underlying problems with running a ghillie suit in Airsoft. So today I'm going to talk about some of the advantages and some of the disadvantages that a ghillie suit is going to give you in Airsoft, as well as talking about a very viable alternative to a ghillie suit, the Leafy Suit. What's up, Airsofters? My name is Lane and welcome to the BB Warrior. We're here to help you have a better time both on and off the airsofting field. And if you enjoy videos like this, I would love to have you join our community by hitting that subscribe button down below. And while you're at it, make sure to hit the bell icon next to it for updates when we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday here on the channel. Now, ghillie suits. Everyone thinks that, hey, a ghillie suit would be a really cool idea. It'll be like that one mission in Modern Warfare. I'll be so stealthy and no one will be able to see me. However, that's rarely the case. The thing with the ghillie suits is that for buying a ghillie suit, there are really two options. Either a store-bought ghillie suit or a homemade ghillie suit. And there are some advantages and some disadvantages to each one of them. So with a store-bought, obviously the biggest advantage is there's no time. You just order it off Amazon and it comes to you in 2 days. But there are some underlying issues with it. The first one is ghillie suits are very, very hot, especially a lot of the commercial ones. And the issue with them, and the reason why they're so hot, is they have a lot of bulk to them, and that's because that's there to help break up your silhouette. And there is a lot of material on there, and that will help for concealment. However, for Airsoft, that can get a little hot, especially on those really hot summer days. Like today when I'm filming this, wearing a ghillie suit would be pretty obnoxious. Now, what a lot of people do when they make a homemade ghillie, and I'll leave a link to a video that LevelCap did a few years ago. It'll be down in the description. He did a video about how to make a ghillie suit to have it be more streamlined and have it be more comfortable in the hot summer weather, is they put like a mesh backing on the back of it. So they make it out of like a field shirt, and then they cut out a piece on the back and then turn that into a mesh area so you can get some breathability in there. However, with a lot of store-bought ones, that really isn't an option. The nice thing about making one yourself is that you can really tailor it to what you need as a player to help you be more successful and be able to be detected less. So what a lot of people do on homemade ghillies is that they don't put anything on the chest. And the reason why they don't do that is they don't want anything snagging as they're going to be laying down on the ground, because the best position to be concealed is to be in the prone state. However, with a lot of the homemade ghillie suits, the entire front of your body is covered as well, and that can snag on branches, vines, anything like that, and that can, one, get you caught, and two, that can make a lot of noise, which could give away your position. So homemade ghillies can be really great, and they can really be tailored to what you specifically need. However, that is a double-edged sword, because if you don't make it very well, then you just have a crappy ghillie suit that you just wasted a bunch of time and energy on. So make sure that you get your crafting skill up before you start making some ghillie suits at home. However, if you do have the ability to make one that is a high quality, you really can make sure that you have something that's really tailored to your needs, and that can be very, very important. Whereas that is something that you can't exactly do with a lot of the pre-built ones. And another issue with the pre-built ones is that it's their color palette. So when you're going to make one yourself, you can make sure that the colors are going to match your area. Like right now where I am in upstate New York in the spring, all the vegetation's bright. Nothing is really super dark or anything like that. It's kind of like a lime green, I guess you could say, unless you go under like a dead pine tree. So I can use the right dye to make sure that I match that color. Whereas an issue with a lot of store-bought ghillie suits is that they come in preset colors and it might not perfectly match up to your area. Now, you always can attach natural vegetation, which I would highly suggest doing for any ghillie suit. However, that is just something to keep in mind, that your colors may need to change as the season progresses, because obviously the color of your surroundings are going to be different in spring and summer than they are in the fall or the winter, especially the winter. But that is just something to keep in mind for ghillie suits. The coloration and the ability to add natural vegetation is going to be very, very important, because you're going to want to blend in as much as possible, and having actual natural vegetation, nothing synthetic, is really going to help you. One of the biggest issues that I find personally with ghillie suits that go with my playstyle is that when I don't need them, I can't get rid of it, because ghillie suits get very, very hot. Something that I see a lot with people that wear ghillie suits is they abandon them in the first 30 minutes of the game because of how obnoxiously hot they are. So when that time comes, or a time comes that you just don't need to have that on, they don't compact down very well at all. Now, with the other alternative, which we'll talk about in a minute, the Leafy Suit, those compact down pretty well. Whereas a ghillie suit, whether you do store-bought or homemade, you really can't do that because they are so bulky, they can't be compressed down into a manageable size that can be thrown into an assault pack. It's going to take up the entirety of your pack if it'll even fit in there, and that space is probably being used by other things like your camelback, your just stuff that you need for the game, extra ammo, BBs, gas, stuff like that. So ghillie suits can't be the most compacted down, so make sure if you're going to use it, it's on a day that isn't going to be obnoxiously hot and you're going to want to take it off in the first 30 minutes, excuse me. But why don't we talk about a very, very viable alternative to ghillie suits, and that is the Leafy Suit. Leafy suits are very similar to ghillie suits, however there are a few main differences. First off, this is a completely mesh material, and then it has strands of again, the same mesh material of leaves sewn onto it in different varying patterns to break up your silhouette while you're operating. Now the nice thing about these is that they are very light and they are very, very compact. I'm going to zoom out for a second so you guys can get a better look at what I am using. So as you can see, this is your typical Leafy suit. Now the nice thing again about these is that these are very lightweight and they are very, very easy to compact. Now, when I say how lightweight these are made out of mesh. So this whole thing probably weighs less than a pound. They come in a top and a bottom. And the nice thing about these is that again, they do compact down. So this one can be compacted down into a really manageable size. It ends up being probably about the size of a football or so, and that can just be thrown in my assault pack when I don't need to be wearing this. And I've actually had that happen in game. The issue that I run into is that I've been in scenarios where I'm going to need this. I'm going to be in the woods where I need to make sure that I'm not going to be spotted and things like that. However, then I move into a more urbanized part of the field and I don't need that concealment anymore, and I need to be able to identify friendly or foe, and so do my teammates more, so I can quickly just throw this off where then I have my colored uniform on top, so either like multicam or AOR2, so that I can quickly and easily be identified as what team I'm on. And this only takes a second to get on and off. The only thing keeping this on me is this zipper right here. It just zips down, this gets thrown off, I put it in my assault pack, and I'm good to go. And then my teammates can easily identify what team I'm on so that I don't get friendly fired. And I've actually had that happen numerous times while using one of these systems. So that's just something to keep in mind, that these are easy on, easy off. They're very lightweight. They don't weigh you down like ghillie suits. However, there are a few issues with these. These aren't absolutely perfect. First off, a lot of these are designed with hunting in mind. So finding ones that are going to be a little bit lighter can occasionally be a challenge. As you can tell, this one's pretty dark, and I find that's an issue in springtime. It starts to be easier in summer once I start getting into some of the shade. But that is something to keep in mind. A lot of these companies target towards fall. Another thing is, because these are all made out of mesh, you really can't cheap out on them. You can find them really cheap on Amazon, and I'll leave links down in the description below to all the products I talked about today, whether they be store-bought ghillie suits, Leafy suits, or the cheap Leafy suit. But I wouldn't really cheap out on these because they are made out of mesh. I definitely recommend getting a higher quality one to assure that this doesn't rip as soon as you snag on something. And while this is covered the entire way, like my chest is covered, these strands don't catch on anything because they are so thin. With ghillie suits, a lot of them use like jute or cotton, and those get caught very easily. So this, I never really noticed this getting caught on anything. Something that I do notice about them is that the leaves get caught in the zipper from time to time. However, that may just be an issue with the model that I'm specifically using, but that is nothing that really matters when you actually have it on. It more so matters when it's on and off, like when you're taking it on and taking it off. But I really like Leafy suits because they fit my playstyle more, because they allow me to be mobile while still having concealment. So if you're gonna wear a full ghillie suit, I'd highly advise that be for a event or a play style where you're going to be sitting in the same place for a long amount of time and using that to your advantage. Because if you're on the move, ghillie suits are pretty big and pretty obnoxious, whereas this is lightweight and just made out of mesh, so it really moves with your body better than the heavy, hot ghillie suit. So personally, I like these because I have more of a mobile play style even when I'm trying to be concealed. This allows me to quickly and easily have advanced concealment besides just a uniform. However, if you're the type of person that can sit in the same spot with their sniper rifle for an hour, and you're at an event that allows you to do that, where you have the time that you can just sit there and wait. Like a lot of the games here that I play have shorter timers where you can't use the advantage of sitting in one place for too long because the game is just so short. So for me, this works perfectly. However, if that works for you and your game style, go for a ghillie suit. They have better concealment than a Leafy suit. However, Leafy suits are better for movement in my personal opinion, because they are lighter and they're more manageable. And again, I'm talking about concealment because these are just mesh and they have no straps on them to make sure that you don't snag on anything. You can't attach any vegetation to these, so make sure that you're going to be getting the right color for your environment. Now, I do want to say one more thing about construction. Again, make sure that you're getting a nice and well-made one. Now, these are made out of mesh to the point that you will get sunburned through these. I actually got sunburned this weekend through my Leafy Suit, so make sure that you're either wearing like your combat shirt underneath this, or just put on sunscreen. It's pretty solid advice. But that is going to do it for this video, where we talk about some of the faults with Ghillie Suits and comparing them to some of the advantages of the Leafy Suit. While neither of these are a perfect system, I do believe that they both have their place in Airsoft. It really just depends on your play style and what type of events that you personally go to. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video and this was your first time here, again, I'd love to have you join our community by hitting that subscribe button down below. And while you're down there, make sure to hit the bell icon next to it for updates when we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday here on the channel. If you haven't already, make sure to check us out on social media. Links will be down in the description below for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I love talking to you guys on social media. I love talking to you guys down in the comments. If you've used Leafy Suits or Ghillie Suits in the past, let me know what your experience has been with them. I love communicating with you guys, talking about the video that we had, or talking about the discussions that we have because of this video. And it really does mean the world to me when people talk about the content that I make here on YouTube. Anyways, this has been Lane from the BB Warrior, and I will see you all next time.